Hello all. I am Sheikh Hadar. I have 16 years of experience with product development and I am certified project manager and product manager. I have used Agile product development methodologies in entire my career. Today we are going to talk about project manager. As you understand, any organization when it has a role specified like project manager or scrum master, they have a specific objective to it. So we are going to understand three things in this video. First one is objective. The second one is roles and responsibilities, and the third one is skills. So for a project manager to be successful in his role, he should understand these three things importantly. Before getting into these three topics, let's understand what is project. Project is a small endeavor which has a specific deadline and it has specific outcome. So when there is no specific deadline and when there is no specific outcome, you cannot call it as a project. For an example, for setting up a coffee shop, right? So it has a specific deadline, like suppose 6 months after today you have to open the shop, and you have a specific outcome, which is the customer should be served a coffee at this spot. Hence it is called as project. How you can differentiate what is a project and what is an operation? People generally get confused with a project and operation. So I wanted to give this example. You are setting up a coffee shop, right? So it has a specific deadline, like suppose 6 months after today you have to open the shop, and you have a specific outcome, which is the customer should be served a coffee at this spot. But if you consider you have to hire people and you have to run the operations, procure and all that, so that is something like serving daily coffee is nothing but operation. It doesn't have any outcome, right? So it doesn't have any deadline. It's an ongoing thing. Hence it can be called as operation. The project manager's job ends at setting up the coffee shop, and operations manager take care of the daily operations and he goes on serving the coffee. As like my example of coffee shop, if you find any other example which differentiates project and operations, please comment and let me know in the comment section. If you have not subscribed to my channel, please subscribe to my channel so that you can see more content like this. The project manager objective is to bring in people together and schedule a particular task and deliver the outcome in a most efficient way. So this is what is actually Scrum Master is also doing, right? So hence we have to understand what is the difference between Scrum Master and Project Manager. Scrum Master is closely associated with the team, and when it comes to Project Manager, there may be multiple teams. So if there are more than 2 to 3 moving parts, or the moving parts in the sense there are more than 2 to 3 teams involved in a specific delivery, then it's good to have a project manager collaborate with all three teams and also keep the management up to date with the progress of the project. To understand project manager role better and where it fits in, so let's go back to our example where it is a rock and roll music app. In this music app, the first thing that happens is product manager has magically come up with a feature called as folk songs genre. So the project manager is assigned with a task. So hence there are three moving parts over here. One is the finding the folk song artists and enabling cloud to upload this genre and building mobile application. The project manager responsible goes with gathering requirements and identifying stakeholders, planning the project with budget timeline, keep the track on progress and engage key stakeholders, close the project with learning. So let's get into each and every one of this in detail. Let's start with gathering requirement and identifying stakeholders. At this phase, it is important to ask two things with whoever is sponsoring the project. The first thing is what is the outcome that is expected and when he wants it to be delivered. So then you are going to identify the stakeholders who are actually getting impacted positively or negatively with this project. So then you are going to understand all these features, and then you are going to come up with a plan. So identifying stakeholders who are positively impacted and negatively impacted are really important, because you have to engage with them throughout the project. And the more you engage with the negative stakeholders, you can bring them into a neutral, or you can turn that into opportunity. So hence it is really important to engage with stakeholders who are negatively getting impacted, so that the project will not hit the roadblock at any point of time. Let's understand the second topic, which is planning the project with budget and timeline. So preparing a budget is the first task that you do when you have gathered the requirements. So to do that, what you have to do is break up the project into small activities, and then you associate a cost with that, and then add up every cost that you are going to incur for this project. And then you also set the timeline for each activity, if that can be arranged with some overlap or not, and then you arrange them in sequence so that you understand the timeline. So these are the two activities that project manager is going to do along with the team, so that this timeline and budgets are prepared. Once you are ready with budget and project timeline, you are going to reach out to stakeholders and get the primary approval required for this project to get started. Third important responsibility of project manager is keeping track of progress on project and also engaging stakeholders. This is a continuous activity that happens throughout the project. So you have to keep on checking what is the status of the project. Every week or 2 weeks, you are going to engage stakeholders and let them know on what is the status of the project. Why it is important is, you may get into situations where you are overshooting the budget or you are overshooting the timeline. So in both the cases, you have to engage stakeholders and keep them informed about these situations, and then you have to adjust the timelines and budgets if possible. This is very important, not only with the respect of timeline and budget, it's also to engage stakeholders, and keeping them informed about the progress will also keep them in confidence. So it is important for the stakeholders to understand the progress, and before it gets too late, they can engage into project, and they can solve any issues or impediments, so that the project is back on track. The fourth important thing about project manager is closing the project with learnings. At this stage, what happens? You have completed your project, the outcome is met, and the timelines are met, budget is met, everything is done, and all the stakeholders are happy. At this point, to close the project. So closing the project is really important. The project, when it reaches its outcome, that means its endeavor is done, its lifetime is done. So we should not extend the project where it turns up into operation. Hence, we start a project and then we end a project. Now, let us understand about the skills required for project manager. To fulfill the responsibilities that I have stated above, you have to have certain skills so that you smoothly function on these responsibilities. The first skill is, the project manager should be highly organized. He should be very detail oriented. The third skill is people skill. The fourth skill that is required is problem solving. Why it is important for a project manager to be really organized? Because you are dealing with the schedule, you are dealing with budget, you are dealing with resources, and you are dealing with team. So here, if you are not efficient, if you are not organized yourself, then it is really difficult to organize all this, right? So hence you are going to keep yourself very organized so that you utilize all the resources and the team, and you have to put on the schedule on track again and again, and you have to meet the budget requirements, and you have to control the budget at times. So that is why it is really important for you to be really organized, and you have to predict the future and respond to it even before it happens. So that's when you can put the project in certain schedule and certain timeline. The project manager has to be detail oriented, because he is actually playing a lead role in any project. So if he is not detail oriented, he is going to miss certain things which will creep up at the end of the project. You are supposed to be detail oriented. So be it requirements, be it continuous improvement process that you are going to engage, be it quality, be it risk. So everything has to be detailed in such a way that execution is going to be smooth. So you have to engage the team members and bring in this clarity very early, so that the execution process is not stopped or is not delayed in any case. The third important skill for project manager is people skill. So there are two important things that the project manager is supposed to do. One is negotiation, and the second thing is team building. Most of the times for project manager, teams may have been built, but certain times it is also important that project managers start with team building. Hence, in that case, what happens? You have to choose people like who is going to be in project, and you are going to involve a highly motivated people, and you are going to engage with them throughout the project. So the second thing that I was talking about is negotiation. So in this negotiation, you are actually going to deal with people. So you are going to have a give and take policy. So if suppose somebody has come up with a problem saying that this is going to overshoot the budget by this much, then you are going to negotiate on timeline. By this overshoot of budget, am I going to achieve this in this specific timeline? If that is the case, then you can actually go back to stakeholders and make them understand that okay, the budget has overshot, but we have achieved this. So the negotiation with the team members is always important. Negotiate on quality, negotiate on risk, negotiate on timeline, negotiate on resources, negotiate on team members with functional managers. Day in day out, project manager is doing negotiation. The fourth important skill required for project manager is problem solving. Team comes up with so many issues on daily basis seeking problem solution. Most of the times you are going to engage with stakeholders in problem solving. So you have to go with the problem solution and options available at this scenario, and you can actually buy in one option which is most efficient and most appropriate for that scenario. As a project manager, you are leading the project and you are supposed to be very organized and gather requirements and analyze them at appropriate time and identify stakeholders and engage with the stakeholders and keep reporting about the project progress with the stakeholders and positively close the project. So it is a knack that you close the project at appropriate time when the outcomes are met. Otherwise, the projects will keep dragging and there will not be any end to a project. Particularly in case of fixed cost project, you have to be very keen to close the project with when the outcomes are met. If you like this video and you want to see more of content from me, you can subscribe to my channel. You can comment and let me know if I have missed any skills and responsibilities of project manager that you feel which is important for project manager.